inaugural cabinet meeting to be held with the participation of the President. Low-pressure water supply continues with power cuts across the island. The 9th Parliament to convene tomorrow. Joe Biden has officially been nominated as the Democratic presidential candidate.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News. You're with me, Shehan Ranatunga. Now, the ruling party will meet for the first time today at 4 p.m. The meeting is to be headed by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and our senior member of the government stated that members representing the ruling party have been invited to this meeting, which is to be held at the Presidential Secretariat. Meanwhile, the first cabinet meeting of the new government commenced at 10:30 a.m. today at the Presidential Secretariat. Senior journalist Rohan Valivita has been appointed as the media secretary to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Senior journalist Rohan Valivita received his appointment letter from the secretary to the Prime Minister. After leaving from the media industry, Rohan Valivita was appointed to the advisor to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in the year 2000. According to a release by Prime Minister's office, Rohan Valivita has worked in the capacity of Media Secretary, Advisor and President's Coordinating Secretary with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Former Director of State Intelligence Nilantha Jayawardena appeared at the investigation unit of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the 2019 April 21st attacks today as well. The former Director of State Intelligence arrived at the Commission at 10:30 this morning. He will be providing evidence for the 13th time. Meanwhile, former President Secretary Udaya R. Seniviratna will appear at the investigation unit of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the 2019 April 21st attacks. According to the Commission Secretary, the summons was already issued in this regard. Former State Minister of Defence Ruwan Wijewardena provided a statement to the police unit of the Presidential Commission yesterday. Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and former Minister of Law and Order Sagala Ratnayaka were also summoned to appear at the police unit of the Commission on the 21st of August. Former President Maithripala Sirisena is scheduled to appear at the police unit of the Presidential Commission on the 26th of August. Former Director of the Criminal Investigation Department SSP Shani Abesekara was escorted to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing incidents of political victimization. This was after the Commission informed SSP Shani Abesekara to appear at the Commission. Our correspondent said he is currently providing evidence before the Commission. High Court Judge Gihan Kulatunga has ordered to withdraw the bail issued to former Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka, who was accused of running over an individual named Sampath Gunawardena in Rajagiriya on the 28th of February 2012. The High Court judge issued this order when the case was called up at the Colombo High Court today.
The case has been filed by the Attorney General against Patali Champika Ranawaka and 3 others on 16 charges, including providing false evidence, reckless driving and not preventing an accident. The High Court had issued summons to the 3 accused to appear before the court tomorrow. The first accused, Patali Champika Ranawaka, filed a motion and appeared before court today. President's counsel Anuja Premaratna, appearing for the accused, requested the court to allow his client to go to Parliament as the inaugural session of the 9th Parliament will be held tomorrow and to set another date for him to appear before court. Accordingly, High Court Judge Gihan Kulatunga ordered Patali Champika Ranawaka to appear before the court again on the 28th and to also obtain his fingerprints. Dilum Tusita Kumara, the driver of Patali Champika Ranawaka, and Sudat Asmadla, the then OIC at the Valikada police station, are to be produced before the High Court tomorrow.
The National Tsunami Early Warning Centre at the Department of Meteorology said there is no tsunami threat to Sri Lanka at present due to the effect of the earthquake reported in southern Sumatra Sea.
The European Mediterranean Seismological Centre said an earthquake of magnitude 6.8 struck southern Sumatra in Indonesia. Issuing a communique, Sri Lanka's National Tsunami Early Warning Centre noted there is no tsunami threat to Sri Lanka following this earthquake, adding that the coastal areas of Sri Lanka are declared safe.
Provisional's National Front says a subject of the Ministry of Commerce was assigned over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs when the subjects were divided. This was informed by its representatives during a media briefing in Colombo yesterday.
අපි මේක අධ්‍යයනය කරනකොට අපට
When we studied this matter, we found out that during the time where the ministries were assigned with subjects, certain parts which belonged to the Ministry of Commerce were moved over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We believe the representatives at those respective ministries will not be able to handle the responsibilities if a part that belonged to the Ministry of Commerce was transferred over. We are requesting the government and the President to reverse this. The relevant subjects should be under one minister. No matter how close the ministers are, there will be problems within the officials.
ප්‍රතිවිරුද්ධ අදහස්.
අපි දිගින් දිගටම කිව්වා ජාතික වෙළඳ ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් හදන්න කියලා.
We continuously told to create a national commerce policy. Whenever we influenced them on this matter, instead of a new policy, they came up with fake policies. Even Malik Samaravikrama misled the parliament. That is by creating false policies to sign up with business agreements for personal benefits. The Singapore Agreement, in the Sri Lanka Agreement, EDCA Agreement, which was to be signed, the country did not benefit from any of these agreements. The ministers who initiated all of this failed to do so.
මේ සියලුම ගිවිසුම් හරහා අපේ රටට වෙච්ච සෙතක් නැහැ. ඒ එක සෙතක් පෙන්වන්න ඒ වැඩමුළු සංවිධානය කරපු මහත්තුරු අසමත් වුණා.
The Criminal Investigation Department arrested a sub-inspector attached to the Police Special Task Force on the charges of trafficking drugs. The SI was arrested last evening after recording a statement from him.
Sri Lanka police said there is credible information to believe the suspect is connected to the drug trafficking operation carried out by several officers attached to the Police Narcotic Bureau. The Criminal Investigations Department is conducting investigations on the drug trafficking operation.
The Ceylon Electricity Board says the malfunctioned Norochole power plant is expected to be brought back to normalcy within the next 3 days.
The chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, Vijitha Herat, said until such time, the power cut which started yesterday will continue. Several teams have been deployed to repair the Norochole power plant. The coal power plant malfunctioned following an error at the Keralapitia subgrid. Against this backdrop, daily power cuts were announced for 2 hours and 45 minutes from yesterday. Accordingly, power cuts will be implemented from 10 am to 11:45 am, 11:45 am to 1:30 pm, 1:30 pm to 3:15 pm, 3:15 pm to 5 pm, 6 pm to 7 pm, 7 pm to 8 pm, 8 pm to 9 pm and 9 pm to 10 pm. The CB says on Saturday, the power cuts will be implemented only during the evening hours. Meanwhile, the water board says due to the power cuts, water is being supplied at low pressure. Its general manager, R.H. Ruinis, said that this has impacted areas where motors cannot be operated and there are no sufficient storage facilities. As a result, the general manager at the National Water Supply and Drainage Board is requesting the general public to use water sparingly.
Now another match played at the Play Championship of the Premier League tournament Tier A tournament between the Sinhalese Sports Club and the Lankan Cricket Club ended in a draw.
Batting in their first innings, Sinhalese Sports Club scored 332 runs. Skipper Dasun Shanaka scored 112. In response to SSC's first innings score, Lankan Cricket Club scored 375 runs in their first innings. For LCC, skipper Chanaka Ruansiri scored 165 runs. At the end of the third and final day's play, SSC batting in their second innings were 226 for the loss of 4 wickets. In another match, the Plate Championship saw Negombo Cricket Club and Badurelia Sports Club settling for a draw. Batting first, Badurelia scored 267 runs while Negombo Cricket Club scored 381. At the third and final day's play, batting in their second innings, Badurelia scored 276 runs. Dushan Hemantha scored 115 runs. For Negombo Cricket Club, Lakshita Manusingha and Upul Indrasiri claimed 5 wickets each.
And that's it for your lunchtime news on TV1. Thank you for watching. I'm Shehan Naratumra.